somewhere in Bulgaria or something, and I got sent the script by Rick Stillman, the director and writer of this, who I had worked with years ago on a movie called Last Days of Disco, and he's such an interesting, amazing person.
Yes.
I was obviously very interested to see what, he hadn't done anything, I hadn't really heard much about him for a long time. He'd done one or two movies, but it was probably 17 years since I'd worked with him. So it was very cool. And then I just thought the character was so wonderful and funny.
Oh, she's so funny and wonderful and naughty.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that, naughty.
Yeah.
Okay, we can all be a little naughty, right?
I do, I like naughty women.
And then, so also, like, I mean, the costumes. Can you just have a minute about that purple dress?
Oh, yeah.
Was that fun? It was a lot of production of it. Was it I mean, you had to get, like, it was a whole to-do.
It was kind of a to-do.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, makeup was very quick because he didn't really want us having any makeup.
Yes.
Which was a bit frightening.
How's that?
It's a bit of a horrifying thing. Very early mornings, so you kind of arrive, scare yourself sitting in front of a mirror. And get
No, you could never scare yourself in front of a mirror. Ever. You would never.
Definitely can scare myself. But the thing that took the longest time, because a lot of us were wearing wigs, and that's quite quick to put on.
Oh, just like me.
Yeah. See, everyone can rock a wig. So, so they would style those when we weren't there. So that was all quite quick. But the dressing was quite protracted because you have to have help. You
the pantaloons or whatever you call them.
I'm very impressed with your knowledge of the costume.
Yes, thank you. I was an extra in Tombstone in college.
Oh,
That's
you
how I
really?
paid my bills.
Life in the movie.
Like the movie.
What makes the world go round, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, I've got all my best friends, girls, are from either elementary school or middle school. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm generally texting people I've known since I was 5 or 11 about 45 times a day.
So it's genuine and old.
Old, yes, and very silly. Naughty girls, just naughty girls. It's nice.
Okay, we're not going to hog Kate, so please, we're going to open it up to our lovely audience. And who would like to speak or have a question for Kate? He's always the best. Okay, go ahead.
Was there some real challenges to getting that dialogue? I mean, the dialogue is amazing with the elaborate language and all, and getting the dialogue right and the timing. Was it different than when you would do a normal, contemporary language film? Were there special things you had to get your mindset wrapped around?
I mean, the takes were very long. So in terms of usually in movies, it's much shorter, and we weren't sure at the beginning whether the director wanted to do them in bits and he didn't want to do them in bits. So you were like, oh my goodness. I kept saying to him, can I have a final draft of the script like a few weeks before we start shooting, because I want to make sure I show up like, when you're doing a play and you've learned all your lines first, and he doesn't really work like that. So that was a bit of a sort of mental agility challenge, because the other thing that's great about Whit is, one, he's a brilliant writer, but two, he's very in the moment. So if on a certain Tuesday he decides that you've got this speech like this, but actually he'd like that bit here and this bit
Oh my
here
gosh.
and that bit there.
Oh,
that would make sitting in hair and makeup. That's maybe why I was so frightened in hair and makeup, because that's when he would come in and go, oh, just a couple of things. One, you look like you've just been exhumed. Two, I've changed your life. So that was the thing that was quite nerve-wracking about that, was that, I think I might be ahead of the game, so I might not get Alzheimer's just because of how much I've worked my brain out in that one movie.
Brain exercises. Dad, go ahead.
Hi, can you talk a bit about reconnecting with Chloe after you guys did Disco 17 years ago, and then also you're a mom of a daughter and I'm a mom of a daughter, and talk a bit about friendships and in this day of technology, how you deal with that with her and her friends or whatever else.
That's a great question because of social media. And congratulations, you just joined Instagram.
Yeah, right?
Yay!
Well, just in time for them to change the logo.
I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know anything.
Right, exactly. But wait, sorry, we have to get back to your question, but why join now?
Well, one, it's quite nice to be able to stalk my daughter more than I
So you weren't stalking her before?
Wait, you can't really, I couldn't do it properly. You can't just keep Googling it. You have to kind of
But 17, she's like almost, she's an adult now.
She'll stalk her,
right?
I'll stalk her. My mother is stalking me in so many different ways. I'm just adding a string to my bow. Also, I did realise, because I was quite nervous about all that stuff, and I'm English and we like to complain about things.
Really?
And, in terms of kind of people trying out your business and spying on you and taking pictures of you and stuff, I like to sort of reserve the right to complain about my private life being invaded. So I thought, if I keep saying, oh look, here I am at the gynecologist, that seems a bit counterintuitive to that whole thing. So I also think I'm aware that my career has been a bit schizophrenic in terms of I'm known for movies in which I kind of got quite a grim face and you know, carrying a machine gun around, and I keep kind of realising, well, actually, I think people think I'm like that, and I'm really not. So I realised that those kind of social media things, which I am terrified of and totally suspicious of and scared of, is also a way for people to kind of have a little bit more of their own personality that they're kind of in control of putting out there, which normally I'm just kind of, you know, getting groceries out of the car with my phone showing or something, undignified. So if there was a phone
People
picture,
probably don't
I'd
mind.
take
You
it.
want it
I know,
down,
right?
Exactly.
You don't want it taken of you.
I get the best angle of
There you
that
go.
I possibly can, even if it kills me. So.
But back to Deb's question about your daughter, which, and I also want to tie it to what you just said about your own friendships being so long and sincere and genuine. Is that something that's really been an important message for you with your daughter?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really difficult because obviously your daughter has a very different experience. I mean, she grew up in America, I grew up here. I do think you guys' middle school situation for girls is more intense than I was used to, and maybe that's, you know, changed since, because obviously I went to school in 2000 BC Sorry.
I know.
But I was in England, so everything seems older.
Right.
It's not it.
That was good comeback. Good.
What did you ask me?
About your daughter and her friendships. And
Oh, right.
importance.
So I don't think it, you know, I think you've got to be careful of going, well, I had this and that was the best thing to have, so therefore you should have it. You know what I mean? She's kind of blazing her own trail, but I think it's really important to have I mean, for me, it's very important to have a very solid inner circle of girls and gay men, and that's how I operate.
I love it. Me too.
Yeah.
Girls and gay men.
That's sort of really
Yeah.
why I'm here today.
You're funny.
Oh, and you asked me something else.
Yeah, about Chloe
About
reconnecting
Chloe.
after 17
Yeah,
years.
that was amazing because when I came out here, it's so hard to fathom with social media and internet and the world seeming so connected. But when I did Last Days of Disco, I'd only been to America once, and that was to go to Disneyland. And, you know, I sort of